Hello, welcome to today's session. This is the season of exam, isn't it? There are more than 2-3 exams that are lined up, and I'm sure that all of you are prepared to take on the exam of your choice and succeed in it. So, this session is also about one of those exams. And what exam we are talking about? We are talking about Canara Bank PO PGDBF program exam. So 4 5 days. Why this session? Let me tell you first that 5 days back on 23rd, 4 days back on 23rd, we had this Canara Bank PO PGDBF notification. From then till now, I have been getting so many queries, so many questions. We have been getting so many queries that what is the program, how is it going to help, what are the what are the basic idea behind the program, and media had other questions. Now, when I went through the answers that are posted normally in the internet, and also some of the answers that I got in the that I saw in our own FB group as a response to those questions, I was surprised to see a lot of people unknowingly, or knowingly, maybe willingly or unknowingly, willingly, they are propagating something which is false, which is not true about the program in general, and about the PGDBF program in general, about the Canara Bank notification and the PGDBF program in general. This is leading to confusion amongst the sincere students who in reality have less time and are trying very hard to get into a job, or or an engagement within a year or so. So we thought that why not to make an objective analysis of this program, show you the data behind and the logic behind the program, and then on the basis of that, after you have gone through those data and understood the basic idea, then you are fit enough to take a call whether to take this exam, whether to not take this exam. Then that is up to you, right? Okay. So, what is the agenda of today's session? Simple. Look at the more important information of Canara Bank notification. So that's the first thing that we'll do. What are the important important part of the Canara Bank notification related to us when it comes to the queries that are generated majorly on that part? Second, understand the Canara PO PGDBF program in detail. Now, this is something that we need to understand. Before making a decision, we need to see whether it's worth it or whether it's not worth it. So, we cannot discount saying that this is not it without knowing about it, and we also cannot say that it is worth it without knowing about it. So we'll know about it first. So understand the Canara PO PGDBF program in detail. Third, we'll address the various FAQs that I have collated from students, that the students have put up in different forum, whether in our FB group, whether they are put up to me in my Quora handle, or different places. So we will collate them, and I'll give those 9 FAQs, answer to those 9 FAQs to the best of our knowledge, right? To the best of my knowledge, I'll give that those answers to those FAQs, and then I'll leave it to you so that you can decide. So let's first look at the exam, right? Okay, chalo. Let's first look at the exam. Important information of Canara Bank notification. Now, what are they? Now, please understand here, I'm not going to share how to fill the form, how to, what are the ways in which you can fill the form, what is the fees of the form filling. That you already know. I mean, if you do not know, you can just go through the notification and you can know about it. Here I'm going to share with you or repeat those information which are important for us from the decision perspective. How many vacancies? 800 vacancies. So it's a substantial vacancy, right? Okay, next. What is the educational qualification? graduation with a minimum of 60%. So anyone below that is not eligible as of now. Now there is this a lot of people who are not 60%, below 60% are applying or emailing to the examination body, to Canara Bank, so that this particular barrier is not they eliminate this particular barrier from this year's exam. But no decision, I haven't heard about any decision being reached by the bank on so, and no second notification has come on that count. So if you are a person who has less than 60%, you definitely should go ahead and mail the exam body and Canara, in this case not the exam body but Canara Bank, because the exam body is IBPS, so you need to mail Canara Bank so that they can decide on this. So if there are more number of mails, maybe they would decide, maybe they would not, but you can go forward and do it. Now, what are the important dates? 13 November 2018, last date of application. So that's something, from 17 days, 16 days from now. 5 December 2018, that is download of admit card. So that's from 1 month, 10 days from now. And exactly 2 months from the notification date, that is 23rd December 2018, is the tentative date for online exam. So these are the important dates for us. Number of stages and the weightage in each of these stages. First stage is online objective test, right? So this is the online objective test. It would be a, it's the replacement of the written test, as we have the prelim test and the mains test in IBPS and in SBI PO. Similarly, we'll come to the details of this test in a moment. And it has 50% weightage. This test will have 50% weightage in the overall selection process. Second stage is group discussion. Now this has 20% weightage in the overall selection process. And the third stage is, or second stage, in the second stage is divided into two parts. One is group discussion and the personal interview. This personal interview has 30% weightage. So together they make 50% weightage, and that becomes the whole 100%. So 50% of online written test, online objective test, and 50% of GDPI round, right? So these are the important information of Canara Bank notification related to our selection process. Also, let's look at the pattern of the online objective test. This is the pattern of online objective test. There are 4 sections: reasoning, quantitative, English, and general awareness. So these are the 4 sections that are there. Now, all the section apart from English will be bilingual. You have the opportunity to take that particular section in either English or Hindi, whichever you like. Now, English obviously has to be taken in English. 50 marks in each one of these sections, and they would have 50 questions also. So each question has 1 mark. 200 question, therefore it makes 200 question of 200 marks. The composite time, the overall time is 2 hours. So there is no sectional time as it was in the new pattern of IBPS and SBI this year. There was no sectional time limit. There is no sectional time limit in this exam. There will be a composite time limit of 2 hours in this exam, right? Okay, so that was the, so obviously you'll have to plan about it. If you have prepared about SBI and IBPS, you have prepared not taking into consideration that. So you'll have to take into consideration that. So when you take your mocks of Canara Bank, you'll have to think about it, right? So more of that later on. Let's stick to today's agenda. Now let's understand now the second part of the agenda. Let's understand the Canara PO PGDBF program. One by one step, one point. First point. One by one, we will go through all the points. Selected candidates to go through a 12-month PGDBF program at NITTE, Greater Noida or Manipal, Bangalore, right? Now, 9 months out of these 12 months, 9 months will be a classroom program in any one of these campus, either this or this. and 3 months will be internship at Canara Bank branches. Okay, so this is the first point. Second, the course fees in NITTE Greater Noida campus, the course fees with GST is 4,13,000 rupees, and in Manipal Bangalore campus it is with GST 3,54,000 rupees. This kindly note that this is excluding the exam fees, laptop expenses and other expenses during your stay inside the campus. Now these expenses, these later expenses would have to be borne by you, the candidates, which is you. What you would get, you can take as a loan, bank loan from Canara Bank, is the course fees. This much you can take as a bank loan from Canara Bank. Okay, the other expenses would have to be borne during that 9 months by you. Now after this 9 month, you go for a 3-month internship in Canara Bank branches. Now there you will be paid 10,000 per month during that 3-month internship. So this 3 month is a part of the 12-month program. So you would be paid 10,000 inside the PGDBF last 3 month 12-month program, last 3 month, 10,000 per month. After the successful completion of the PGDBF course, you will join as a PO in Canara Bank, right? So that's the idea. Now here you would get a probationary, you will have to serve a probationary period of 1 year from date of joining. So after your successful completion of the PGDBF course, when you join Canara Bank, you will get 1 year, you will have to serve as a probationary officer for 1 year, and then you would be you'd be on the permanent roles, and you'll be getting that manager tag with you. So assistant manager or junior scale manager, whatever is the tag according to the bank, you will get that. Now how would I get, I mean I'm spending so much money in my education. Am I going to get it back because this is Canara Bank is making it mandatory that we should go for this? Let's look at it. You would get back this money through loyalty bonus. Now what is loyalty bonus? It's equal annual installment amounting to course fees from the end of 5 years service to the end of 10 years service. Meaning, let me tell you, when after joining Canara Bank, after you have completed 5 years of service, at the end of 5 years you would be paid 80,000. Let's say the course fees was 4 lakh. Let's say the course fees was 4 lakh, right? So at the end of 5 years you will be paid 80,000. At the end of 6 years you will be paid 80,000. 20%, na? Every 5 year, from the end of 5 year, you will be paid 20% of the fees that you had paid, 4 lakh. Then 7th year, another 80,000, and like this at the 10th year, the last 80,000. So these 5 equal annual installment in form of loyalty bonus, 80 into 5 makes 4 lakh. So that would be your repayment of the education expenses that you have borne for the PGDBF program. Okay, so that's how you get back this money. 7th, is there any bond? Yes, there is a bond. If the candidate leaves before the completion of the 5 years, for the aforesaid 5 years, then rupees 1 lakh plus taxes needs to be paid as compensation. So please understand, even if you have not taken a loan, or you have taken a loan, apart from that you will have to pay rupees 1 lakh plus taxes. Let's say you have done the PGDBF by on your own money, so you have paid this 4,13,000 and done this PGDBF. Then also, if you leave Canara Bank before 5 years, you will have to pay this 1 lakh plus taxes. If you have taken the loan, then also you will have to pay this 1 lakh plus taxes as compensation. In the case of loan, obviously you will have to also pay back the loan if you have taken it from Canara Bank, you'll also have to pay back the loan before you leave the organization if you are leaving it before 5 years. Okay, right? Now, another thing is, before I move on from this slide, that if you have taken a loan from Canara Bank, so and if you have paid off the whole loan in equal monthly installments, then you would get this loyalty bonus, as I have told you. But if the loan itself is going on, if you have taken, let's say, a 7 years loan, and the loan itself is going on, then it would be adjusted in ways, and the calculation that you would come to know after you join the program. Now, what is different in this program from the direct recruitments that we have through SBI and IBPS PO? Let's look at it, because that's something that comes to our mind first. First of all, why do they take, and what is different? So why do they take, we will come to it in our FAQs, but what is different? Let's see first. This is Canara Bank PO PGDBF, left side, direct PO SBI IBPS, right side. So the PO tenure. The PO tenure is 1 year for PGDBF. This is 1 year for PGDBF and 1 year for PO, right? In Canara Bank PO PGDBF program. In direct PO, SBI or IBPS, the PO tenure is of 2 years or more, more accurately 21 months, but let's say 2 years. So from that angle, the tenure of PO or the training tenure is same in both the cases. So here also you give your 2 years, here also you give 21 months to 24 months, right? So approximately 2 years. So that is same in both the cases. Okay. Scale after probation, junior management scale 1. Scale after probation in direct PO, junior management scale 1. Same scale, no difference. Next, growth possibilities. Possibly higher with conditions applied. Now, let me tell you, let me make this clear to you. Why am I saying that growth possibilities are possibly higher? See, we don't have empirical data where we can say that this batch of PGDBF have passed out, and over the course of 4 or 5 years we have seen that their growth vis-a-vis the growth who have gone through direct PO. We cannot compare that, because this is a new program and we do not have that 3-4 years of data to compare, right? So there is no empirical evidence. So at the least, what would happen? Both will have the same growth probabilities. Both would have the same growth probabilities at the least. Now, why do I say that, or why am I saying that the possibility of growth might be higher? The reason is that after 5-6 years, every banker needs to learn something, go through one or the other course as a part of his job enhancement, and that helps in their promotions too, right? So here you are already a PGDBF. So obviously a person without a PGDBF and a person with a PGDBF, after a certain period, the person with the PGDBF will have some advantage. That is my understanding. That is the way the corporate banks work. I have worked for the for a couple of years, for the first 2-3 years of my career in corporate banks. So I have that idea that in corporate banks, if you have a degree, and that happens in the public sector banks also, because though my friends who have gone to public sector banks, they used to go for degrees, from after MBA they used to do CFA. So once they do CFA, they are eligible to go to treasury. So these things used to happen there also. So in corporate sector banks, obviously that's understood. If you learn something new, you would be given the advantage of that, right? So in that scenario, in that case, a plain graduate PO and a PGDP graduate plus PGDBF PO, between the latter one, the one with the PGDBF, might have some advantage, right? Only time would tell. As a matter of fact, the banks themselves are taking it as an experiment to see whether the people who have done their PGDBF performs better, or the people who are coming directly from PO, they perform better. So we can't say anything for sure, but if we think it logically, if we think it objectively, the chances might be a little higher for these guys than the other guys, right? So that's one thing. So growth possibilities for these guys are normal. Job description. Now this is very important. Job description in both the cases is as per branch requirement. Now this is where I will come on the screen again. I mean, this is I've seen some insane comments in this particular area. Things like that PGDBF program gives you sales profile, bank PO program gives you finance profile. I mean, just some things which are out of the way. People having no idea about how banking systems works are talking about people getting marketing role, right? So you know, these things are some things which got me thinking that we need to guide our students or what exactly happens. See, bank is an organization which has 3-4 major departments. First is the finance department, which is the policy making department. Now the policy making, financial policy making department, no newcomer, even if you are an MBA from an IIM Ahmedabad, would be allowed in the first year to the policy making finance department. That would come through experience. Now, where do the newcomers go? Operation department, finance operation department, sales department, then the department where customer service department, right? And the department where you go on and sort of it's also a part of the operation department. I included it in the operation department only. So the working of the bank, the actual working of the bank inside the bank, right? And the fourth one would be the compliance department. So you'll have to comply to different norms that RBI sets or the bank sets or the head office sets. So these are the 4 major departments in which the bank operations are divided. So marketing, sales, for the entry level, sales, customer service, banking operations, and the compliance department. So you can get any one of these department without whether you are from a direct PO, whether you are a PGDBF student, that does not matter. As per the requirement in of the branch where you have been posted, you can get any one of these, right? So get out, flush out that idea from your mind that you would get something which you want on the first day of your job, right? And first of all, you should not want anything, because you need to understand the bank in totality. Then only you will be able to grow. A bank manager, to be a bank manager, understand that to be a bank manager, let's say it's a middle management role. To be a bank manager, you need to be good at selling your products. You need to be good at organizing the financial product. You need to be good at managing the operations at the branch level. So these are so many things you need to do. So if you don't understand the idea behind the work that need to be done in each one of these departments, how would you do it, right? How would you be a good bank manager? So you shouldn't have an sort of what do you say, that a kind of predilection, an inclination towards going one particular department. No, you shouldn't have. And that's the reason why every one of these banks, when they train the newcomers, they train in every one of the departments. They don't train in one or the other department. They train in every one of the departments, right? I'll come to the training part in a moment. Now, prerequisite to complete the probation period: successfully complete PGDBF course and perform in probation period. So you'll have to complete the PGDBF course and you'll have to perform in the probation period. What is the prerequisite to complete the probation period in the for the direct PO guys? They need to perform in FTP 1, that is Foundation Training Program 1, and Foundation Training Program 2. In different banks, the duration is different. Somewhere it is FTP1 is of 15 days and FTP2 is of 1 month. Somewhere FTP1 is of 1 month, FTP2 is of 2 months. Now, FTPs are classroom programs. Okay, these are classroom programs. So you will be taught theory, and on the basis of that theory, you will have to answer questions and you'll have to take tests, right? Just like the PGDBF program, and perform in the probation period. Okay, same thing. Now, in the probation period, as I told you, all banks, irrespective of whichever way you go to the PO, PO level, all banks would give you, make you go through all kinds of activities. 2 to 3 months in sales, 2 to 3 months in banking operation, 2 to 3 months in, the customer service, everywhere. Okay, next. Now, the last one is something which is in the Canara Bank PO PGDBF program and which is not required in the direct PO SBI IBPS. Investment. You have a 4 lakhs plus 9 months salary. You'll have to forego 9 months salary, and if you don't consider the stipend, then you'll have to forego the 3-month stipend too. So that way is 12 months salary and 4 lakhs. That's the investment that you gave in this particular program, and that is something which is not there. That is the good thing about this direct recruitment. You don't need to spend that amount of money, right? Now, let's come to the FAQs. FAQ 1. Why are they conducting a separate exam? Now, that's one of the questions that I came across. So, see, I don't know what are the reasons for the bank to conduct it, but 2 reasons seem most possible. First, retention seems to be an issue with these banks, and people leaving after training for other PSBs, let's say people leaving for SBI or other PSBs, result in a lot of losses to these banks who train them, right? And see, if you are a bank, you would not want to incur these losses, would you? You would not, and hence this is one of the ways to stem it. Second, compete against the best private banks in the market. Now, this is very important. The private banks in the market, in the management level, they recruit either MBA or PGDBF pass outs. Now, if you'll have to, and what is the target of these public sector banks? The public sector banks are targeting that overall in operations, they compete against the best private sector banks, and not only compete and be better at than them. How would they become? Would they become by doing whatever they were doing for the last 2 decades? No, they would not. So they would have to become better by innovating them. Now, how would they innovate? By who would innovate? Who would bring that change in the system? You. It is you who is expected to bring that change in that system, right? There are a lot of expectation from you. So they are sort of getting into this system of recruitment so that the chances of your succeeding are higher, right? So as I told you, that this is something of an experiment for these banks too, right? So they're trying to see whether you are a better performer or not, and that would be that would seem from the next 3-4 years your performance, right? So that seems to be another reason for which they do. FAQ 2. Are they conducting this exam for tackling NPAs? Seriously? I mean, this is something of the most absurd thing that I have been seeing for the past few days on the internet. People claiming that they know that it's the NPAs, to cover the NPAs, these guys are conducting this exam. I don't know what to say about this. And if those guys are aspirants, I'm very concerned about how would they even pass this exam. I'll give you some data. You are an aspirant banker, you do the maths. Last quarter, you can just check on the internet also. Last quarter, Canara Bank gave 4864 crore rupees reported 4864 crore rupees of loss on account of NPAs, right? So let's make it a round figure. Let's make it 4800 crores. Now your form value is 700 rupees, and how many people last time filled the form of Canara Bank? 1,40,000. Let's say this year, this time it is 1,50,000 or maybe 2 lakh, but all would not fill at a price of 700. Some would fill at 150, so 100. So let us make a 500 average price of the form. So 500 into 2, how much does it make? It makes 10 crore rupees. है ना? 500 into 2, 10 crore rupees. So 10 crore of 4,800 crore rupees is how much? It's how much? It's around, it's, you know, it's 1% is 48 crore. So it's not even 0.25%. It is near to 0.2%. And obviously they are conducting an exam, so it would take some money. I mean, it would, let's say half of the money goes into conducting the exam. So the logics is 0.2 cover 0.1% of their their NPA. They are conducting a nationwide exam. Wow, marvelous logic. This is the kind of, you know, if you see the numbers, how absurd it is. Any organization, can it do so? I mean, to make 0.1, to meet 0.1% of their NPA targets of a quarter, they are going to conduct a nationwide exam. Very good, amazing. I really don't think that guy should become a PO, because then the bank could go for a toss, right? So if someone is debating about how this is going to help bank reduce NPA, let him do it. Let him do anything he wants. You concentrate on your studies. My dear friends, you concentrate on your studies, make a point to crack the exam that you're sitting for, rather than debating with the guys who have no idea about how things work, right? Okay, chalo, let's move on to the next FAQ. Isn't the fees of PGDBF program too high? Actually, no. You see, an MBA or a PGDBA program costs around 15 lakhs with similar or less ROI in most cases, right? So on an average, if you look at the B schools, none of them are less than 15 lakhs. Most of them would be 20 lakhs, 18 lakhs, and on an average, if you look at their ROI, return on investment, 8 to 12 lakhs is what we are looking at, right? And most of the cases, not all of the cases also. So that way, the fees of the program is not too high. Plus, this may help you in your career in future, right? This may help you in your career in future. So, still, do you think this is high? I don't think so. It's okay. FAQ 4. Are they recruiting for sales and marketing in this way? I have already answered this question, but let me make it clear once and for all. Yes, all POs, irrespective of recruited through PGDBF or recruited through direct, have every likelihood to get any job profile, including sales, right? First of all, let me clear it. Marketing is a much senior role. No one of you is going to get a marketing role. 7 years, 8 years down the line, you yourself are going to fight for a marketing role, because it's a senior role. It's where we decide on the way a region should market itself. A bank's region should market itself to be better than their competitors. So it's a different thing altogether. Sales role, if you are meaning, yes, every PO who is, if he's a direct recruit, or if he is a recruit to PGDF, has every likelihood to get sales, to get operations, to get customer service, anything. That's according to the branch requirement. We have already covered it. Take next. FAQ 5. Can I fail in this course? This was one question that came in. What happens then? Yes, you can fail in this course, and if you fail in this course, then your offer is revoked. You don't have an offer in your hand, right? And but that is very highly unlikely, don't you think so? You see, you have spent 4 lakhs of rupees, and if you wouldn't you be sincere? And if you're sincere, rest assured that they would not fail you just for the heck of it. They would not fail you because they have also invested so much in you. They themselves would not want to fail you. But if you are not serious about your studies, if you're not sincere about your studies, then it's not their fault. Right? Okay. But let me tell you one thing, the chances of failing here is less than or equal to failing in qualifying the exam of FTP1 and FTP2. When you go for a direct recruitment, then also you will have this FTP1 and FTP2 exams. Na? So there also you can fail. So chances of failing here in this PGDBF program is lesser there. Tell me why? Because here you have paid money. And when you pay money, you're more serious and you would be like, no, I'll have to do this or I'll not get the job, right? So I think the chances are lesser here because you'll be more sincere here. But anyways, if you think that you have a chance to fail in the training process of a bank, because whatever they would be teaching you there or whatever you would be trained after that would be on banking operations, on banking things related to banking. So if you fail in there, then means that you are not eligible to be an employee in the bank, right? Okay, so if that thought comes to your mind, that means, do you join a course thinking that you would fail in it? Have you started your 11th and 12th thinking that you will fail in it? Have you started your graduation thinking you will fail in it? That's a very very lowly idea to start with. Why would you fail in it? It's studies related to your interest, that is banking. Why would you fail in it? Tell me, right? You should be confident that you will come out with flying colors, right? Because this is your area. This is the area that you have been dreaming of to go forward to. Huh? So I don't think fail should be an issue, but yes, if you fail, you're out. Let that be very clear. So if you give 6, should I continue or join other PSB clerk or join this? Now this is a question that has been asked on different forums to me. See, there are two things to it. If your highest ambition is to become a clerk and you don't want to be an officer in your whole life, then I have nothing to say. So be a clerk then this question will also not come. But I think this question is coming because you want to grow in your life, you want to get to the management cadre, and you sort of want that improvement in your life. So then from clerk to PO in that particular bank, let's say you are working in a X bank. So if you are working in a clerical cadre, you have to work there for 3 years and then you will qualify for PO. Now that 3 years is saved in this program and in any program where you join for PO, those 3 years are saved. So if you ultimately want to go for a managerial role, then why would you wait? You just go in for this. Also, I will suggest, in these kinds of decision, always take decision on the basis of job rather than the ranking of the banks. So the job profile is very important. The higher the job profile, the better you learn, the better you are capable to make shifts in your career, positive shifts in your career. Okay, right? FAQ 7. Is there any way to go around the 60% in graduation requirement? Unfortunately, no. See, though no, it's not confirmed in notification. Normally, the norm is irrespective of honors and irrespective of 60 plus in PG, you need a 60 plus in graduation. So if you have any one of these, that's not going to help you. If you don't have a 60 plus in graduation, in aggregate, overall graduation, then you are not eligible. Now that's normally the norm when it comes to all these kinds of application process. But why to take chance? Confirm with the exam body, because the notification was not clear on this term. So confirm with the exam body. If you have 60 plus in honors, confirm with the exam body or Canara Bank, that is, that whether you can go in for this exam or not. And if you have a 60 plus in PG, ask whether you can go in for that. Okay? FAQ 8. Between the two, which college to prefer? Between these two colleges, the Greater Noida NITT and the Manipal Bangalore, which one to prefer? See, it's simple. Course wise, both are same. For the bank also, for Canara Bank also, it doesn't matter. You are you are at the same level there. So how do you prefer? You choose taking into consideration location and difference in fees. So if location is not an issue, I would say go for Manipal because the fees is less there, right? And if the location is an issue, then you can go for Delhi one. So whichever you like for to go for. So there is no difference in terms of whether the bank would prefer any one of them. No, the bank would not prefer any one of them. So that's the idea. So FAQ 9, the last one. Should I fill this? The last, at the end, the last question comes back to square one. Sir, should I fill this form or not? Now, this shouldn't be a question now, should it be? Tell me. I've given you all the data. You are mature enough. Take a call on the basis of your current situation. But let me tell you one thing. If you don't have a PO letter in your hand, a direct joining letter in your hand, the next PO exams that are going to come, let's say if I discount the IBPS PO, I'm not saying that take admission now, right? You have to just fill the form now. So IBPS PO means you take the exam, Canara Bank PO PGDBF program, and after some time you see that IBPS PO means you have qualified. Then would you go for this? No, you would not go for this. If you have qualified IBPS PO, final letter, letter of the intention. So if you got that, you will not go for the Canara Bank. Why would you go for that? But if you do not have that in your hand, and if you have this in your hand, if you are successfully able to crack this, and if you have this in hand, then rather than investing another 1 year of your life to go for the next year direct PO jobs, go for this, because at the end of the day it would become the same, because next year you would have completed this 12 months program, and then you would have started as a PO in Canara Bank by the time you would have the joining by the next year exams, right? So so in that sense, it makes it's a very easy decision. If you have a PO letter in hand, you should not think about this. Why would you think about this? And the rest of the answer, I think we have covered to an extent. If there are other things that you want to clarify, put it in the comment section. If we know about it, we will definitely come back to you and respond to it. So decide on the basis of the information that you have given, I have given to you, and the choices you have currently. And don't listen to a lot of discussions that are happening on internet about and discussions which are of no use, right? Banks NPA, and why they are doing it. How does it matter? See, understand, you are a person who is in need of a job, or who is looking for a public sector bank's job. So if you are getting multiple opportunities for it, is it good or bad? For me, if I had been a candidate, if I were you, for me it would have been good, but I'm getting a second chance, right? Okay, so I would prefer to look at it as a second chance, as another chance, rather than going back to that discussion why they are doing what, because that's of no use to me, right? They are giving me a second chance. That's what is important for me, right? So so decide and go forward, and whatever you decide, study hard, sincerely, and sooner, I suppose sooner you would get an offer letter in your hand. That would be all for today. Thank you and all the best.